The first time I can say that I fell in love with football was when I was at a very young age. Initially, what attracted me to football was just the sport and the roughness of it.
6'5", 380 every bit.
Asa Chapman would face many challenges growing up in Linden, New Jersey.
It was a rough neighborhood. We struggled as a family when I was young. There were a lot of, drugs and those types of things around when I was a kid. So my early life was really a lot of turmoil. I did live with my biological mother. She was a young lady herself, and she did struggle with drugs and just overall life in general. So a lot of times I had to grow up fast and be an adult when I was young before my time.
And yet, despite the challenges he faced, he would excel on the football field. So much so that he received a scholarship to Liberty University. And as a Flame, he continued to find success on the gridiron.
I was all conference for 3 out of the 4 years of my career.
But that would all be derailed prior to his senior season in 2011.
Yeah, it's really hard to kind of follow everybody right now. There you see that.
I had a knee injury that sidelined me for a couple months. Right before camp, I re-injured the same injury, which was pretty devastating for my senior season.
Frustrated and looking for answers, Asa would turn to what he knew from his childhood.
As I became an adult myself, I really didn't have much guidance. And I would say I was reaching a point of fame to where I was dealing with a lot of things that were unfamiliar to me. I really didn't understand how to cope well. I was using those drugs to cope with difficulties that I was having adjusting to my life. And during that time, it was really difficult for me.
And it was about to get more difficult. Following fall camp his senior season, Asa would be pulled over, and police would find drugs in the car. He would be arrested and suspended indefinitely from the football team. His life seemed to be falling apart, but there were those at Liberty who refused to give up on him.
During that time, when I was arrested, God saw fit to surround me with people such as Christy Bites that cared about me, because I was my own worst enemy at that point.
We are all not cut from the same bolt of cloth. We all have different experiences, and my experiences and Asa's experiences growing up were not the same. And yet, I felt very called to come beside him and to continue to walk with him during that chapter or season in his life. And that's just what it was. It was a season. That was not his defining moment, and we were not going to allow that to be his defining moment. And that kept being the message that we were sending to him. This is not your defining moment. Your life is ahead of you. We're looking forward, not backwards. So we're going to do, and we're going to come alongside you and encourage you to do all of the things that the university requires, that society requires, in order for you to redeem yourself and to move forward with your life.
Everybody here at Liberty University just kind of insulated me and gave me the ability to rebuild myself, as well as, refocus on what was important to me. I was dealing with a lot of mental issues. Liberty not only provided, but gave me resources to where I was able to receive therapy.
It was a chance for us to demonstrate who we are as a university. We're about redemption. We use athletics as a tool to share Jesus. And then the other thing is restoration. So for me, as the chaplain, obviously I was disappointed because he was projected to play in the NFL. That's how good Asa was. But for me as the chaplain, my responsibility was to love him, encourage him, believe in him, help him. Just like as a football player, you make a mistake, you don't kick him off the football team. You help him learn from his mistakes on the football field. Well, the same thing is true in life.
It really wowed me because, it was amazing to see a bunch of people that don't really have a personal investment in me show so much interest in my well-being. So it really changed how I looked at the world. It also changed how I viewed my relationship with God, I would say, and Jesus Christ. At the time, I really wasn't very religious. I looked at life as just football. Everything was about football, which kind of led to me slacking in other areas. But just seeing how people surrounded me and protected me as well as helped me and picked me up really was a symbol of God's grace.
After his time at Liberty, Asa would enter the corporate world. But in 2023, an opportunity arose to return to his alma mater.
We had some positions come open in academic affairs for athletics, and Asa has just grown so much personally, but also professionally, and has achieved so much. I'm thinking maybe we can get him to come back. And so I sat down and had a talk with him and said, I really think this could be that pivotal moment in your life where you can come in and you can be an agent of change. And he came back and he was able to join our staff, and the impact and the connections that he's making with all of our students is really unbelievable. And I think it's a true testament of what we're called to do as Christians.
When she called me with that opportunity, it was almost like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. If I could just help one athlete avoid some of the turmoil and the trouble that I had, I feel like my life would be complete. That's what my purpose is. My life is where it is right now because I received a second chance. Second chances are really important because as humans, none of us are perfect, and it's really important to sometimes show a little grace to someone because God always shows us grace.
Where would I be if someone hadn't given me a second chance? So for us, it was exciting to see the way the university responded, because this was a young man who made a bad choice, but we were going to help him to learn from it so that now he can become a successful father, a successful husband. We have an opportunity to demonstrate to him that we not only believe that God is going to use what he's been through to help him, but we're going to be a part of that transformation process. And all I can say is, to God be the glory because of what God has done in his life and what God is doing through him now. And I always say that we all have a story. And the key is to let God take our story, let God make it his story, so that we can help somebody else with their story.